Charlie Munger lived a life that stretched across nearly a century. 99 years of lessons, 99 years of discipline, 99 years of thinking about how the world works and how people work. Yet the most surprising part of Charlie's life was not his rise, but his ending. His final years were filled with a clarity and peace that very few achieve. This is the untold story of the man behind the wisdom, the man many called the architect of rationality, the silent genius beside Warren Buffett. As we go through this story, we will explore his final thoughts, his private routines, his deepest values, and the quiet reality of the last chapters of his life. Not the legend, not the billionaire, but the man. Charlie's mind was something unusual. Even in his late 90s, when most people struggle to remember simple details, Charlie remembered quotes, principles, and lessons from centuries of knowledge. He read constantly. He thought constantly. He refined his understanding of the world every single day. People who visited him during these years often left saying the same thing. His mind was sharper than most 20-year-olds. This was not luck. This was the result of a life dedicated to learning, a life dedicated to building a mental library with thousands of models and concepts. He believed that if you understand the world properly, you will make fewer mistakes, and avoiding mistakes was one of his guiding principles. Charlie's last years were not loud. There were no big parties, no wild public events. He preferred solitude, but this solitude was not loneliness. It was peaceful. It was intentional. Charlie spent long hours reading in silence. He enjoyed quiet afternoons thinking about history, psychology, economics, engineering, and human behavior. People close to him said that he lived his final years with a sense of inner calm. He did not need the spotlight. He did not want applause. He wanted clarity. In a noisy world, Charlie found joy in a room filled with books and the hum of quiet thinking. Most people do not know that Charlie loved architecture as much as investing. Even when he was more than 95 years old, he worked on building designs. He believed buildings should be designed with purpose, efficiency, and durability, just like investments, just like thinking. One of his most controversial designs was a windowless student housing concept for a university. The world debated it. Some criticized it. But the point is this: Charlie was still designing, still creating, still solving problems, at an age where most people stopped challenging themselves. He saw architecture as a puzzle, a way to express rationality using space instead of numbers. And until the end, he kept solving that puzzle. In the last years of his life, Charlie gave some of the most honest interviews ever recorded. He did not soften his words. He did not try to be polite. He spoke with pure truth. He warned about bubbles in the economy. He warned about gambling disguised as investing. He warned about the dangers of impatience and greed. His voice sounded like wisdom sharpened by age. Each interview felt like a grandfather telling the world truths it needed to hear. Even when controversial, Charlie believed honesty was a moral duty. He refused to pretend. He refused to sugarcoat. He refused to say things just to please people, because he knew his time was limited, and he wanted to leave the world with clarity, not comfort. Charlie Munger lived through tragedies that would break most people. He lost a son when the child was only 9 years old. He lost his vision in one eye. He lost money, relationships, and stability at different stages of life. Yet when people met him, they saw calmness, confidence, strength. Charlie rarely spoke about his pain, but it shaped him. It hardened him. It taught him resilience and discipline. He used loss as a teacher instead of letting it destroy him. And in his final years, people saw the strength that came from a lifetime of surviving hardship with dignity. One of the least known things about Charlie's later life was how grateful he became. He often said, "I have been unbelievably lucky." He did not complain about aging. He did not fear death. He did not chase more wealth. He lived his final years with a simple belief: gratitude is a superpower. He believed that if a person focuses on what they have instead of what they lack, they will live a peaceful life. And this belief became stronger as he grew older. To Charlie, gratitude was not a feeling. It was a discipline, a mindset, a choice. As the world changed rapidly with new technology, new markets, and new trends, Charlie stayed focused on one constant. Human nature remains the same. He believed understanding human behavior was more important than understanding any financial chart. He believed patience was more important than intelligence. He believed discipline was more valuable than genius. In his final years, he kept sharing the same message. Do not chase shortcuts. Do not chase excitement. Do not confuse luck with skill. He believed a rational mind could survive any market condition, any trend, and any disaster. And that message became the foundation of his final wisdom. Charlie Munger passed away just 33 days before his 100th birthday. There was no dramatic ending, no chaos, no Hollywood story. He left the world quietly, peacefully, exactly the way he lived. His departure felt like the closing of a great textbook, a textbook on rationality, a textbook on character, a textbook on how to live a life of purpose and clarity. People around the world mourned not just the investor, but the thinker, the teacher, the wise man who shaped modern investing. Charlie Munger lived almost 100 years, but his lessons will live far longer. His final years showed the world that brilliance does not fade with age, wisdom does not weaken, clarity does not disappear. He lived with discipline, he lived with courage, he lived with gratitude, and in his peaceful final chapter he reminded us of one truth. A rational mind is one of the rarest treasures a human can create. If this story inspired you, like the video, leave a comment and subscribe for more deep stories about the greatest thinkers of our time.